everyone, I think we are live today. This is take number 2. This is Technicolor Mike B, and we are doing a makeup tutorial. Yes, we are planning to do a clown-based design, something fantasy. It is based sort of on the makeup that you might see on Cirque Du Soleil, although it's not really based on a specific Cirque Du Soleil character. Anytime I do a fantasy design, I look for inspiration from Cirque Du Soleil. I did some concept drawings of the design. See if you can see today's design. This is the concept just in black and white pencil sketch. I did a color version. I don't think the colors look quite as good on the yellow postcard that I use, but the top is purple tones, and the bottom are red tones. It is going to be sort of a white background, maybe a bluish background for parts of it, and the colors will be gradually faded from a dark shade to a sort of the white sort of faded out gradually. So that is the concept that we are going with for today, and I am using Mehron professional grease paint makeup for most of the makeup. I do have some pressed powder makeup to apply at the end to add a little bit more pop to the colors. The grease paint makeup from Mehron comes in more or less a one color tone per color, so that there's one shade of blue. I think there's technically two shades of red, a really bright red and a regular red, and I think this is the really bright, I'm not sure. I have purple. You can't really tell it's purple from the view, and Mehron's Clown White. Some other colors just in case I decide to go that direction. Whenever I start a makeup design, I always shave and wash my face, try to get the oils off. Then I use just a damp paper towel. These are the rags in the box. I think they're a little bit softer than paper towel, and just sort of wipe down, getting any of the oils off. I'm going to start with a white base coat. When I use the makeup, I always scoop it out with the end of a brush, and I take how much makeup I think I'm going to need for the design and just sort of scoop it out and put that makeup on the back of my hand. So I just take a glob of the makeup on the back of the brush and transfer it to the back of my hand. The grease paint makeup is heat sensitive. It flows a little bit nicer when it's warm. It's a little stiff when it's cool. So putting it on your hand, especially if it's cold, will help soften the makeup, and you could also work it into your hand, massage it a bit, and that action touching your fingers and touching your palm of your hand will help warm the makeup up. Since this design is largely starting with a white base, you don't really have to be neat about it. I'm just going to try not to make a mess since I am sitting at my computer. But I use my hands to apply the makeup, and if I'm doing a small area, I might just use one finger, a large area 2, 3. So normally if I'm doing the full white face, I'll just use my whole hand and smear the makeup all over, get it done quickly. Like I said, I'm working at the computer, so I'll do it a little bit neater. And I do have to use a mirror since the video preview isn't always satisfactory. Now, depending on what my real plan was for the makeup, I would be considering, am I going to wear a hat, a wig, something else? How far do I have to go with the makeup. This is like if you're wearing a wig, you don't have to go quite as high. If you're gonna wear something else, or you might have to go higher or lower, depending on what's going to be covered and what's going to be visible, so that you don't have bare skin showing. But since we are doing this during the COVID-19, I'm staying at home. I'll take some pictures when I'm done, but that's really all I'll get out of it. I'm not going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about like people seeing me from all directions. I'll probably put on a clown nose at the end, but I'll start by painting the nose white in case I go a different direction. I'm anticipating this design will take like half an hour, 45 minutes to complete. If I was doing it for an event, I'd probably practice it a few times beforehand. Then I'd have a better idea of the timing, how long it's going to take, and give myself enough time to get in makeup and get in costume before I have to go. Usually I do makeup at home. I've only done a few events where I've been able to have a makeup room to do makeup at the event. A few random events I've actually done it in the car. The goal right now is just to get the makeup on, covered everywhere. I'll have opportunities to smooth it out as we go. I find it's important to do makeup with good lighting. I've gone to conventions and done makeup in hotel rooms that had poor lighting. Not all hotels are created equally, so it's always good to bring a spare light. I found that sometimes when I'm doing makeup without good lighting, the colors turn out a little paler, that I don't notice it while I'm doing it. I don't necessarily get as good coverage. The brighter lights help you see what you're doing. And again, depending on what I'm wearing, I'll have to go further down on the neck or cover the ears or do other things just to complete the makeup. That, in my opinion, there's nothing that ruins a cool makeup more than seeing flesh that's uncovered on makeup at the edges. So I always like to complete the look as best as possible. I find the ears are the harder spot to cover with makeup. They're got many nooks and crevices to work around, and I do have the jewelry to deal with. But just to take the flesh tone off the ear a bit. Once I've covered everything, just try to smooth it out. And the easiest way when it's just one color to smooth it out is to tap. When you're applying the makeup, your finger will leave streaks of makeup, and this will pick up the high spots and move it to the low spots to sort of even the color out. The two areas I have most issues with are the forehead. I get wrinkles in the forehead, and usually it's like I'm trying to look at something, I raise my forehead and get wrinkles. So I always have to work a little bit harder on the forehead. And the eyes are the other area that can be problems because you're blinking them constantly, and as you open and close your eyes, that will move the makeup into ridges. Just clean my hands off a bit. Now, depending on what makeup you're doing, what I'm doing, sometimes I will powder the makeup at this point so I can move on to the next color, next design. And other times I will continue working. When I continue working, it's considered doing it wet. Because you're putting a new color on top of a color that hasn't been set. If I set it, then it's dry, and the application process at that point is going to be a little different. Right now, colors will blend in easily, and it's also because it hasn't been set. I can use a Q-tip, and they call it cutting out designs. So it's taking just a Q-tip, and it removes the makeup where you rub. It doesn't have to be a Q-tip. Depending on the design, sometimes I will use a bobby pin or something else because it gives me a little bit cleaner, fine line. I can sort of work on creating a design. So that's sort of where the purple edge is going to go. Let's give it a little bit of a scale up design. And then the red, I have the concept that's going to come in from the sides. Go around like that. Try and match it up on the other side. The nice thing now is, since makeup isn't set, I can reapply the makeup and do a new line. That is more or less the design shape. It will have purple towards the top, and like I said, I think I'm going to do just a faint blue on the forehead area. So I'm just again scooping. There's a little blue on the back of a brush and work it onto my hand. Oop, lost the Q-tip. You don't want to step on and get the makeup all over the carpet. So I just have a bit of the blue on my hand. I don't think I need a lot. I just want to give it just take the white tone away from it. Since the makeup hasn't set yet, I could just rub it in, and it sort of blends it into the white makeup. So a lot of times when I'm doing makeup, working with grease paint, like I said at the beginning, it only comes in certain colors, so that you have to sort of mix and match your own. So I know a white base, certain colors work well on top of it and will give me a cool tone. So there's, you already see a little bit of the fantasy. It's not a completely even shade of blue, but I sort of like it that way where it fades in, and I am going to add purple at the top. So the two colors should transition at some point. The area around the eye that I cut out, that's going to be purple. Use this brush. So I'm going to do the same thing, just take a little bit of the purple makeup, scoop it off with the back of the brush, close it up. This way my makeup containers stay clean. I'm not sticking my fingers into the makeup. I'm just taking what I need off with a clean brush or brush handle. I do have a metal spatula and other tools I can sometimes use instead. So now with the purple, I cut the colors out because I want that to be a solid purple, and then it will be the same sort of gradient fade as the blue was. And there'll probably be a black outline at the top, sort of edge as well, just to make it a little bit darker. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. So I'm just going to paint the purple in, and then I will use my finger to blend it again. So I want the outer edge to be a solid purple. inside edge. Just gonna fade into the white. Now I don't know how much of the makeup the performers do on Cirque and how much they have a makeup artist. I'm sure the initial makeup design is done by a makeup artist. But I have several friends who are former clowns with the Ringling Brothers Circus and other traveling circuses. And clowns always do their own makeup on the circus. They'll maybe work with veteran clowns and other professionals at the beginning of the season to design the makeup and something that works with the costume. But when it comes to the show, they're applying their own makeup. I've seen some of the Cirque Du Soleil videos. Some of the designs, they do have templates that they can use that help create the design consistently. One of the frog type designs from Totem, I've seen that there's like a hole pattern. They do like a spot treatment to it. I think they have like a cast design of their face that has the holes in it, and they put it over their face and they can place the holes consistently every time. So those of us who try to imitate the makeup that don't have access to their templates have to do it freehand. I have other makeup tutorials on YouTube of more traditional clown makeups. And I'm calling this more of a fantasy design because it's not in the traditional clown makeup realm. Clown makeup would normally just be white, black, red, blue. I know modern clowns add in yellows and greens and other colors. But the historical clown designs were really about making the makeup visible so people could see their expressions. They were whimsical, but the design was really to show off their features so you can see them, what they're thinking and doing from a distance. So they oversized eyebrows, oversized mouth, so that if their audience is in a big arena, the people at the back can see the clowns and their faces and the expressions they're making. And I think I'm going to darken those edges with black. No, I like it so far. I could have cut out the design at the top as well. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've posted design every day since this COVID-19 has started. I've been working from home. That saves me about 2 hours a day in commute, so I've used that time to do makeup every day and been posting the pictures, sharing them on Instagram. Usually be one design with about 5 or 6 pictures per day of that design. So it's like if you want to see different makeup designs, a lot of them are more of traditional face painting designs. I've done the Spider-Man and the Captain America, Iron Man, puppy dog. And again, the top edge, depending if I was wearing a wig or a hat or how I was planning to perform in the makeup or what I was going to do, part of a cosplay group that we do monthly photo shoots. So it's like if I was going for a photo shoot or something, this top edge design might not even be visible. I guess it's a little uneven right now. And you can see the wrinkles on my forehead starting to form. So it's like every time I scrunch my forehead to concentrate at what I'm doing, the lines will get a little worse, but I'll try to touch that up at the end before I powder it. If I keep on playing with it now, it'll just get worse and it'll get messed up again. It's not perfectly even, but sometimes asymmetrical designs are interesting too. So now we can work on the red. Red, the concept is similar to the way I did the purple. I want the line to be bold, and then it will be shaded on the one side of the line. Take a bit of makeup out. Clean the brush off. When I'm doing makeup, I'll usually have 2 or 3 brushes. One that's usually a white and light tones, yellows, and one that's a black and dark tones. As long as I don't get too dark or too light with a brush, I can keep using it and just clean off enough of it to change colors. So this is the same brush I was using with the purple. The red and purple are similar. One of the challenges I always have is how to get the side of the face. It takes practice with a brush to work in a mirror. Normally I'm not holding the mirror. Though I do the demos like this, I have to make sure that I'm not holding the mirror too close and get the brush handle into the mirror. So I want the red towards the center is going to be just the solid red, and then it's going to fade into the pink. And since the makeup is still wet, I can spread and the colors will automatically blend. And if you're just slow and careful, it sort of gives you a airbrushed effect. Continue on to the other side. And you have to be careful you don't fat finger it. Go out over the edge. If I think an area has gotten a little bit too dark, I can go in with just a touch of white. challenge of working with the makeup wet is that anything you touch will transfer color, so you really have to be careful. And I'm just moving the color ever so slightly away from the line. And if I remove too much, I just add a little more. So that is now I consider like a red and white stripes on the neck. Going down, I do have a collar that'll do it for me. So just at this point, touch up some of the colors. I'll probably powder it and then add the black at the end. My original concept with the purple at the top was going to transition the other direction. So now I just want to even anything out, get rid of the wrinkles so I can powder it. Like I said, the forehead and the eyelid are my two trouble areas most often. So I think I am ready to powder. So now I take all the excess makeup off my hand. Sometimes if I know I'm going to come back in with that color for touch-ups, I will just transfer it back to the end of the brush. Drop the brush. Cut out the lip. And I use Johnson & Johnson's baby powder to powder it. I'm gonna step back from the computer so I don't get it all covered with the powder. Normally I do this in the bathroom where it's easier to clean up. I have a fluffy powder puff that just sort of will dust my face with powder initially. I'm not really trying to touch it into the makeup, just sort of get the powder on it. When I'm powdering, I usually try to breathe out, so I'm not sucking in the powder, so just take a deep breath and breathe out. Once the base powder is applied, I take a smoother powder puff. This is a large one for the full face. You can use smaller ones. And just press it into the makeup to fully set. And the powder and depending on what you've covered in makeup, you have to powder your neck, your ears, your around the eyes, around the nose, around the mouth, making sure to get all of the creases. And then this is a brush it's a brush for babies. It's soft and gentle, and it's good for brushing the extra powder off. And since I'm not done with the makeup, I want to make sure I remove the powder from the areas I'm going to work, because the powder will interfere with the next layer of makeup. And I'm going to add the black around the eyes and on the lip. So now that we've gotten most of the powder off, yeah. Oops, my paper towel had makeup on it. See if I can't work some white over it, blend it away. Yes. I used a little bit of white to reactivate the base layer so I could remove the makeup, and now I could go back in with just the white, a little bit easier. And good as new. Once I repowder it at the end, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Take a little bit of the black. Black is a solid color. It can cover most anything. But if you want the purest black, it's best to do it on bare skin instead of over. And when doing clown makeup, I usually just color my lower lip, and not corner to corner, just the center portion. That's enough for people to draw their attention to the lip. As you can really see, it stands out now. It's a little shiny because it's wet. And then a lot of clowns will do a little pip. Which is just a dot on their upper lip at the corners. And it's enough to let people focus on what you're saying and what you're doing. So it's like you're not doing like women that cover your full lip. You can do a kissy lip or something if that's the design you're going for, but most clowns just go with a partial lip, and they just color their lower lip, not their upper lip. I'm trying to just go in with the little makeup on the edge of the bristles and go in lightly. And just outline it so you can see how that makes that side stand out just a little bit better. And this is always where I have trouble with holding the mirror, that I want it to be close to see what I'm doing, but can't be closer than the end of the brush. Because if I hit the brush on the mirror, that will make it harder to draw the line. And this is the part of the design that just takes the most practice to get familiar with working with the brush and comfortable. Since I'm powdered the makeup, the line isn't going to blend in to the makeup. It's a little bit, I think, more forgiving in my opinion. But it's important that you've powdered well and removed the powder, so that you can, if you haven't removed the powder's going to set the makeup as you're trying to apply it, and it'll clump up. So you want to get as much of the powder out. And you could use a professional eyeliner if you like, since I had the black and a brush. I can do it myself, just using the grease paint again. And I think that is done. I could outline between the blue at the top, but I don't think it needs it. And I haven't completely decided yet if I'm going to go with the professional clown nose or just keep it simple like it is. Not gluing it, just sort of. Holding it in place. So that is the makeup design for today. The next set is to just powder the black that I've done, and then I can go in with any of the pressed powders and darken the blues and the purples a bit, but I think we are done enough for today. I hope this gives you some ideas of how to work with makeup. So this was the design concept and the finished or close to finished product. We're close in on an hour, so I think we have to call it a show. So this is Technicolor Mike B, sometimes known in the clown world as Sir Toonie Van Dukes the Clown, signing out. Thank you for watching this fantasy clown makeup demonstration today. Tune in probably next weekend, maybe before, never know, for my next makeup video. And as I said, you can follow me on Instagram. There's a face a day. I've been wanting to do more makeup videos, but it gets really messy in my computer lab when I do makeups here, and I haven't figured out how to best put the makeup into the bathroom. So I think that is all for today. Thank you for watching.